Good evening, and welcome to the Monday, October 23rd, 2023 meeting of the Litchfield Board of Selectmen. We've just come out of a paperwork session, and we'd like everyone to rise and say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. All right. Up first, we have review and approval of consent items. We have an AP manifest for October 17th, 2023 in the amount of $105,014.53, and one for October 24th, 2023 in the amount of $92,085.54. We have payroll manifest for October 19th, 2023, in the amount of $81,195.79, and one for October 26th, 2023, in the amount of $52,291.46. We have the September 2023 tax collector reconciliation, September 2023 town clerk reconciliation, and 2018 Article 14 Beautification Expendable Trust Fund Transfer. Does anyone have anything they would like to add or to subtract? Or
I make a motion to add to the consent agenda the 2023 tax collector's warrant in the amount of $24,945,781.
Okay,
I'll second that.
we have a motion by Mr. Weber and a second from Mr. Gannon. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. So we can have a motion to accept.
So moved.
We have a motion from Mr. Weber.
Second.
Second from Ms. Queenan. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0-0. Any requests for other items or additional business? No. Public input will occur no earlier than 6:45 PM. Under normal business, we have, up first, we have approval of the minutes for October 11th, 2023. Has everyone had a chance to check them out? Any changes, amendments? None? Hearing none, we'll accept a motion to approve.
I make a motion, we approve.
We have a motion from Mr. Lynch,
I'll second.
second from Ms. Queenan. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
I abstain. I wasn't there.
Oh, motion carries 4-0-1. Yes, right. Sorry about that. We are moving so smoothly. All right, up next, we have the communications policy, which we have shelved since June. So, okay, Ms. Kleiner?
So this policy, I think, has been discussed many times before the board. The latest draft was drafted with legal counsel, who made a number of changes to it, and has also spoken with the board. We recommend that we do not postpone it any longer. The town needs a communications policy,
Okay.
some type of policy that does guide people as to what the communications within the town, especially the official business on behalf of the town and behalf of the board, some type of direction. And in no way is this meant to prohibit anyone from speaking on their own opinions, just not to speak on behalf of the town unless they have the approval to do so.
Okay. All right. Does anybody have any input on this? I think this is what we've been looking at for a while now, with the changes that we had made to. So, okay. Hearing none, we will entertain a motion for acceptance of the communications policy.
I'll make a motion to accept the communications policy.
We have a motion from Ms. Queenan.
I'll second it.
We have a second from Mr. Lynch. Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Motion carries 500. Up next, we have the metal detection ordinance, which has also been shelved since June. Ms. Kleiner.
Actually, Chair, I'd like to, set this aside. So in discussion, with both legal counsel and, because I'm concerned that the language within the policy changed substantially since our last public hearing, I would actually like to request that the board tables this once again and we allow for another public hearing on the policy.
I don't have any problem with that.
Okay.
We made enough changes, it's gonna be, and legal should be involved.
Should we schedule it for our next scheduled meeting? We can have the public hearing and,
Business days,
You might want more time.
yeah,
There's 2 weeks,
I would give it more time than,
in 1 week.
perhaps the meeting after. We could have the public hearing right before so that would be the November
27th?
20th. Isn't it the
Oh, the 2nd and 4th, right? So it's
well,
the
you got a calendar.
13 and 27.
23rd, 30th, so
What
this
day is that?
would be the 6th.
Monday still.
13th and the 27th.
So it'd be the
So
27th.
we may be able to do it on the
We have-
13th. We can get it out tomorrow.
That gives us,
I'll get it to the paper tomorrow.
gives us almost
We'll
3
not be
weeks.
here that
Yeah,
night.
I think we can do it on the 13th. Take that back.
Everybody okay with that?
What time will the
Do it
hearing
on the
be?
13th? What's that?
What time will the hearing be?
It'll be during our normal.
During our meeting.
During our
Right.
meeting, good, okay, I didn't want it
Meeting?
before, I want people
Yeah.
to be able to.
Said the
come.
13th?
Okay, good.
During our meeting? On the 13th?
Yes, they want to do it on the 13th?
I can be here for that one.
Well, it's a selectmen meeting, so you should be.
Well, I can't be, never mind.
So
Family comes first sometimes.
Yes, this is true.
I just don't want there to be any question as to people have had a chance to weigh in
Oh.
on the new language.
I think it's probably a good idea.
Yep.
We've waited this long. One more meeting won't kill us, I guess. Right.
Okay,
Very good.
schedule that.
So be it. All right. Up next, we have a permit for the Litchfield Youth Soccer League Halloween Jamboree at Sawmill Park.
Yes, so the permit came in, and police and fire and highway have all signed off on the permit.
Mhm.
And they see no problems. They'll be able to do it with existing staff. This is a event that is normal and customary to the town
Yep.
of Litchfield.
Been doing it for years.
The permit's the odd thing. I'm like,
Now, as far as the highway goes, this will be on a weekend, so they'll be working the weekend. Do we have
No,
funds available for
It's
that?
all down at Sawmill.
it's at Sawmill, and they feel that they can put out any cones or things on Friday, and
prior
there
to.
won't be any staff
Yep.
Okay,
needed on the day.
okay, all right. Very good. Anybody have any discussion on this? All right, hearing none, we'll entertain a motion to approve the permit.
I'll make a motion, we approve it, please.
A motion from Mr. Lynch,
Second.
second from Mr. Weber. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 500. Up next, we have the Pickleball Pavilion request. And I see we have a guest here,
He's a blast.
Mr. Pickleball himself.
Mr. Pickleball himself.
He's got many names, many hats,
Yeah.
but he's not wearing one today, so I didn't recognize him.
There you go, bud.
Thank
All right, so what we got here.
Thank you.
Thank you, buddy.
Okay, you got my blessings. They're done. This is common practice.
So, Chris Burns, 4 Center Street, also a member of the Recreation Commission. So I just handed out some layouts. As you know, this past spring, we opened up the pickleball courts down at Sawmill Park, and they've been incredibly popular. People are down there every day. Even in intermittent weather, they've been down there playing. So the last time I came before you, we were asking to use $122,000 worth of impact fees for the construction of the courts and the park down there. We've got some funds left over, so we were looking to see how we could spruce it up even a little bit more. Thought was to go out and get some quotes on a pavilion that we could stick in the corner, the inside corner between the wood line and the courts, give them a little shade down there, some picnic tables, some place to sit, some place to congregate outside of the courts. So we solicited some quotes at our last meeting. I forget the date, but it was two weeks ago tomorrow. We, the Recreation Commission, approved the quote from MRD Construction for $16,300 for the construction of a 15 by 20 pavilion. So MRD Construction had sent me some pictures of stuff that they've done in the past. I included that in your packet there so you can see some of the work they've done. Obviously, that picture is probably a little more intricate than what we're looking at for down at the pickleball courts. Obviously, no fireplace, nothing like that, no stonework.
No pizza oven?
No pizza oven. Yeah, just a freestanding pavilion and pad for the tune of $16,300. And based on Kim's calculations of the $122,000 that were approved for the use of the park down there, to date we spent $103,064.27, leaving a remaining balance of $18,935.73. So the quote came in under budget. Give us some more funds left over to purchase some picnic tables or other things that we can put in and around there to keep it looking really nice. So I'm just looking for approval to spend that money on the pavilion.
So that'll pretty much deplete your funds. It'll leave you about $2,600.
Yep.
That you'll use for whatever else.
You know, we've already approved the impact fee, so this is more just saying we can expend it for this also.
Yep. The size of the pavilion and the location on the map there, as you can see, it's well within the 50-foot buffer of the wetlands that were found down there, so the positioning of it, I don't think will be a problem at all. Based on codes, obviously, the contractor will pull a permit with the town, just so everything's in good standing.
And I believe, Chris, that you've been in contact with the building inspector and
Yep, Jeff's aware of our intent down there.
I'll make a motion to approve the MRD quote for the sum of $16,300 for the construction of the pavilion down at the pickleball courts at Sawmill Park.
I will second that.
We have a motion from Mr. Weber and a second from Mr. Gannon. Any further discussion, questions? All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries 5-0.
Thank you.
Sir.
I want you to come back with everything this easy. Okay?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks for all your help.
I'll never keep up with the pavilion when I do that. Can't achieve it, I just built it.
Warrant article discussion. Actually, let's take number 7 first. Let's do the archaeological study, if you don't mind, because warrants might take us a while to discuss. We can do this one and then do public input and do that. So, warrant, archaeological study. We'll go to warrants after, guys.
okay, this should be a brief study. The board asked that we look for some funding, and so Karen and I have looked at the existing budget. Unfortunately, we haven't found where we would feel comfortable at this point funding the study, which is approximately $14,000. It may be towards the end of the year. We can look at some funds that have not been expended and see where things come out. But at least at this point, we're not comfortable recommending.
I concur
So
with
we
that.
wanted to let the board know that we did hear you, it's on our radar, we just don't have.
I guess my question is, why wouldn't we bring it to warrant to fund it?
We can.
We could do that. However, if it did get voted down, then it's never gonna happen. And I think what they're trying to do there and recovering what they can from what was the town center, I think is very important work. And they've done great work so far, and we've helped them out along the way, everything that we can do. That's why I thought that we
I'd
should be
rather
able
see
to
us
find
see-
this kind of money.
I agree with you, Bob. I like to see what we got at the end of the year and look at it.
I agree also.
Because if we say no, then it's no, right? It's,
No means no.
they can't do it for another year.
Okay.
Yeah, wait and see.
Year-end funds?
We'll look at it towards the end of the year.
Okay, please. All right. It is now 6:45, and we will open it up to public input. We have some people here.
Need help, Joe?
Yeah. So my wife, I'm getting one of those motorized carts and making it quick. She says no.
She said no.
Go
By
for
the
a
way,
segue.
my wife watches this, she's probably watching now, she loves you.
Oh, that's
She
so
says,
sweet.
I've never seen anybody, she's watched the budget with you and everything, she says, she's never seen somebody that can have papers everywhere. And go bang, bang, bang. She loves you, she says it was great, she loves that we got you,
Well, thank her, please.
okay. I got, Kevin,
You gotta tell us who you are first, people at home. We know
Yeah.
you.
when we go for a town building like this one,
Joe Cavella's his name.
yeah, Joe
Name and
Cabral,
address,
Brickyard
please.
Brickyard
Drive.
Drive, yeah.
When we go for a town building.
Yeah.
How many things do we need for like contractors to bid for it? Is there a minimum amount, like 3, 2?
You should have at least three.
Okay, that's the general rule of thumb,
No
right?
rule of thumb, you got three people betting on something. That means you
Okay.
can get the numbers together.
Okay. My thing is, the school, this is my sore side of the thing, is the school seems to only do the one. And I think that is wrong, because I watched the school thing, a lot of it this year. When we started talking about the moving some of the kids around, I know it's gonna be a sore spot, and a lot of people in my background go, they went right to the same guy that is gonna do the new school and ask him. Naturally, in my view, he's gonna come back and favor what the board wants and tell you, this is gonna be just as expensive. I don't agree with that, because I think it should have went out to a couple more people to bring that in and then go from there. I feel that this school has gone out of whack. It should be on the same principles as the town. I don't know how it is in a big area, Kim. You come from a big area? Does that fall, would they follow under the same thing of having the, what
Did they
the,
put it out to bid?
So, I sat on the school board in Nashua for a number of years, and yes, everything was put out to bid.
okay. So why is it in this town it's so different?
Well, we have no control over the school. They are their own entity. Now, that is a question that I actually brought up when the middle school project was starting,
Right.
and also the Campbell thing.
Right.
And I believe what the superintendent said was they interviewed a bunch of different people, like 4 or 5 different companies, and then they brought one in, but they never solicited bids. So whoever they selected could throw any number out that they want.
Right.
And
And
I
that's-
think that's why when the middle school project was being discussed, sitting on the budget committee, I think on at least 4 different occasions, we heard different numbers. And then at the end, it came in at another number
Right.
entirely. And so I think, it should be out to bid. The taxpayers at least deserve that.
Right.
But again, we can't tell them what to do,
Right.
and
But
they
it
let
just-
us know that.
Yeah, it's just that I feel like they should be under the same
They should.
thing, that, when you're gonna do something like they said, we'll check into it, but they go right to the one that's handling everything, which I felt was very wrong.
Mhm.
You know, um, I'll have to go to the school board and everything with that. But my other thing is, when you, on the police cruisers, on the discussion, I heard 80 to 100,000 miles, we get rid of them, trade in.
We have some now that are currently at 100,000, and those are the ones that they're looking to replace.
Okay.
Yes.
Out of the 100,000 on a maintenance record, which I know they keep, there's got to be one in there that's got a good record compared to maybe two of them.
Perhaps.
Okay.
Yep.
Why don't we push it out to save the town a little money, or them, like, keep that one, get rid of the two, or keep two, get rid of one. Whichever the two fall under a good maintenance record that ain't giving you problems, because these vehicles now aren't made like the ones in the 80s and the 70s, which were junk. I worked for GM back then. I know it was out there. Just had a fight with the bank Chevrolet with my wife's truck, so we're going tomorrow. It's not like the ones that were built, because the ones I get now, I keep my vehicles up to 150 to 200,000, because the maintenance is good on it. You do get one that's a troublemaker. Bang, that's the one that's out of there. Should be gone. But if you got two or one in that fleet, that out of the threes, like if you're gonna go for, maybe save that one, go for two, you know?
I think the idea of keeping, an alternating schedule, having the one, having the two, having the one,
Yeah.
having the two, was to keep a consistency
Okay.
in the budget so that the residents didn't feel a big spike
Right.
one year. Certainly, if they were looking and we had to put in a warrant article, they would take the ones that need the most,
Right.
have the highest maintenance
Right.
costs, because
Right.
that just makes.
Because I understand that. You want to get
Right.
rid of the trouble one out of the fleet, period.
Right.
You know, because I look at after plowing, by the way, that truck you guys bought, I drove it, it was great. Super truck,
Kevin did a good job.
yeah.
Thank you.
And I look at that, and I look at what Kevin's got over there, and I'm going, God, Kevin's got some stuff over here that beat the crap, you know? And I look at a police cruiser, which years ago I did buy a used one, because it got at auction, and I bought it, and I ran it around for 2 years. See, people do buy them. I'm saying, don't go, I would push them up to like 125,000, and that's it, push them off the fleet. At that point, yes, get it the heck out of there, because after that point, then the stuff is gonna start coming in. Because I know now, the ones that you got now, they can go to 150 maybe, but no, let's play it halfway and say 125, we hit that point, cars out of here. You know, it would save us a little bit, because I don't think they put that many miles on in the year. If you take the amount we have.
Yeah, There's
so-
mileage and then there's the run rate, like,
Right.
they're always.
Yeah, I know the run time is when they're idling,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you
So
know?
there's, when Mr. French was in, he said there was 13 cars in the fleet. 3 were admin, the chief, captain, detective. Those are the Chevy
Traverses.
Equinox Traverses.
Right.
We
Those
have
are
2 of
junk
the
anyways.
old
Explorers.
Explorers
Yeah.
that are used for
Those
details.
are
That's what
junk.
you see sitting down at Mel's at night with the flashes going. That's all they do. They could go out on the road if they need them, but they try
Yeah.
not to. And then there's 8 patrol, all Tahoes, and I think the newest is a 2020.
You did the right thing by going over to them, because I used to see the Explorer thing, and I go to the guys, I don't know how the hell you can sit in here with all this stuff in
With the,
here.
yeah, with utility
Being so
belt.
cramped, you know? I felt bad for the guys when you had those.
Yeah, and we had some,
believe
big-
he
we had
said-
some bigger cops back then.
Yeah, I mean, that was the best thing they did, to
They
give the
have
guys the room.
One Tahoe down, I'm guessing at Edwards, that needs, an oil pump and some other things. It's
Yeah,
starting to
once
get,
when you hit that,
that's when it's starting to.
It's
and-
done.
And I assume those probably have the V8, V4 mode and all that kind of
yeah,
stuff.
you
so
gotta
the
pull the
valves
whole
collapse.
motor out on them.
Yeah.
You don't wanna be messing with it, you're done with it, gone.
So they're at that new fleet, one of them's at that point.
Yeah, because I know,
think
because
that-
I've had GMs for years. When you hit something like that, yeah, that's time for it to go.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be messing with it, because you can put too much time into it. Sometimes it comes down to another engine. Is that worth it? No. Gone, because when you put the motor in, new motor in, then the tranny, then the axles. I know what it goes. It just, there's a certain key there, you know, from being around them. I'm old Yankee, I run crap right to the end. My newest vehicles, I know, Donna, it's your truck. It's not mine, it's a 2016 Chevy Colorado. If I say it's my truck, I get crap all the time. Kevin Brown did that one day when we were in the truck together. Nice truck, Joe. He said, "Oh." She said it right away, it's my truck, it's in my name. But I run a 86 Chevy truck. It's old, but I bought it from California. This is the third one I bought from California. I take the engines out of them and everything, do them over, and run them. Okay? My other one is a 58 Chevy Cameo pickup truck, which now, see, that doesn't come out in the crappy weather. I haven't even gone by Kevin's house with it. Because you haven't seen it.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, see?
I'll swing up to find it.
Yeah. But anyways, that's what, I was just, those two things, you know. I was just thinking maybe we could save a little money there by pushing one just up to 125, then say bye. Like you say, when you got the rod knock or an oil pump problem, that's out of here.
Yeah.
You can't mess around with something like that.
And that's the fleet now, we're starting to hit the bottom of the barrel, and
Right.
we need to
'Cause
fill the tank again.
The trick is to these things too, I know they idle like crazy, is the oil change on them.
Yep.
You
They're good
gotta
about
change,
that.
yeah, you gotta bang that oil out of them. You know, when you hit so many hours, it's out. Because you can take the test on them and it can actually tell you what's breaking down in the engine at that point, because we've done it. I worked for GM. You actually take a testing of the oil out and you send it out. And it will come back and tell you if there's shavings in that damn thing, and it's time to say.
Yep.
So see, there are things that you can test it to try it. But I'm glad to see one of the Tahoes is gonna be,
Yep.
you know, it's probably got the 5.3, which they're noted for the problem
Yeah,
anyways.
they all come with the 5.3 and the V4 mode.
And the
The new
6.0.
ones have that, the 5.3, but they do variable valve displacement,
Valves, you know what,
so you can run on one cylinder, which is,
you can delete that system.
yeah. Well, they don't want to delete it until they're out of
You
warranty.
know, so it doesn't run, so it doesn't run on that, because it's been done. I know somebody that had it done, and it doesn't do that engine stop. It runs on all 8. No, believe me, and it runs perfect. When you go the other way, that's when it seems the problems come in. See, because you're shutting off 4 cylinders and staying on 4. Then you go to nail it, then the damn thing's gotta come in, and sometimes, oof. Okay, there's with the electronics. So one guy has found out if you run them all 8, because I think it's my friend's, what's she got? Traverse. She is actually, can shut hers off from that stop at a light, and, because she hated it. I said, shut it off. And she says, better, much better. So see, there are things that, there might be in some of the new trucks when you get one, that can shut that off. You know, because, you know, when you come to the light, the damn thing will shut off. Every time that starts up, that starter comes in. Just think about how many times that starter's winding that motor over, and it's gonna die. You know, so I hate the new stuff, as you can tell.
Well, Kevin Brown and I just submitted the grant for the 2 new internationals, so everybody cross your fingers for us.
Yeah, no, I know, so, but, okay.
Thank you, Joe.
Budget meeting Thursday? I'll be there. Gotta get a hold of school. They're not gonna like me.
Joe, it's always a pleasure.
Hey, gotta come in once in a while
You do.
and ring it.
More should come in.
You know, I know.
Thanks, Joe.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Get well.
Have a good night.
Anybody else for public input?
Yeah, I'm hoping next Monday they can
No.
do it.
Is John?
I don't know. I don't think so. You here for public input, or you just hanging?
I'm just saying.
You just-
Hanging out.
Okay.
Here's the thing about home, or,
With no-
is this home or
With
is
no
that
one
home?
else, we will close public input at 7 o'clock. Okay,
11,
7 o'clock, right on the dot, according to my computer.
6 patrol.
All right, up next, we'll do the warrant article discussion. Ms. Kleiner, what do we have?
So,
Let me find this.
I have heard from a variety of departments that we may not have an idea of directly, you know, what the warrant article process is going to be this year. You know, it's very important that number one, we get to look at them all because you can't consider them separate from each other. And a number of people have come forward with ideas. So I was hoping that it would be acceptable with the board to kind of put out a memo. The budget committee has asked for them by the 15th of the month. And I'm gonna be somewhat shameful here because the 9th through the 15th is my scheduled vacation.
Okay.
So I'd like to have them earlier so that I can put them together and make sure that Karen can bring them to you on the 11th. Thank you, Karen. So, you know, I think because we have to have them reviewed by legal, first, in my opinion, December 15th is too early.
December 15th or November 15th?
December 15th.
That's when the budget committee needs them?
That's when they had asked for them.
Okay.
November 15th.
Yeah, I thought you said November
Like the
too.
SIP meeting is
No.
November 6th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
That's fine.
Only because we have to bring them all forth to you. You have to approve them. We have to have them approved by legal, at least the general wording of it,
Yep.
to ensure that we have a couple of items that are very high level, that the study that goes into those warrant articles won't be done by. And I think that's kind of where we got hung up last year, right? And we didn't end up getting to the first of the year almost. And I understand it does create a short amount of time for the budget committee to get everything together in order to have their public hearing that's required by law. And you have, you know, holidays in there and all the, but it's difficult. It's a squeeze, and it's gonna be a squeeze this year, especially with a couple of the more high-level ones. So it's up to the board. If you have to have them on the 11th, then I would say we'd need to ask for them by December 1st. They'd have to be placed on an agenda by the 8th, so that Karen can bring them on the 11th. Laura.
So we meet on the 11th, okay.
I mean, it gives them 6 weeks to bring
Does.
forth what they want. I mean, it's a lot of time. I mean, if you're already thinking about what you want, it's just, you know,
Yeah, I agree with
putting
that.
pen to paper right now.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's, I think it's
December
perfect.
1st?
What does everybody think?
Good idea.
As long as at the SIP meeting, we tell them if it's gonna be a warrant article, they need to make a decision quickly. Yeah. November 6th we meet, right? On the 6th, so we'll reiterate that deadline if they want a warrant article.
So they're gonna get them to you by December 1st.
Right, and I'll put out a memo why, you know, and then that we are anticipating, I can send even the rough drafts to legal to look over. Generally, they're pretty quick, 3 or 4 days. I do know that this year, because of the number of towns that they represent, the Mitchell Group has asked us to put forth our deliberative and let them know when our deliberative will be and if we require legal assistance as soon as possible.
Well, they're always at deliberative, so.
They are, but we've only gotten Laura, once in the last 4 years?
And then we got the other backups.
Yeah, I know it's tough for them, all the scheduling they
It
do,
is.
because they cover so many municipalities.
But yeah, I think we need legal representation.
Yep.
Without a doubt.
I think it's either the 2nd or the 9th.
What's that, for
And
deliberative?
will we be going the week before schools?
Well, we did that one year, we did it combined, right?
Yeah.
And then we
well, they
broke
used to do it
apart.
combined, Yeah, and then we broke apart.
And then we came back and did it again combined. and then it
I would
broke
get
apart.
with the school and ask them and work it with them, how they wanna do it, and how you wanna do it.
Talk to us.
The only problem with going the
Second
second week,
Tuesday.
if we get snow, we might miss that deadline.
Correct, and that's why I like to go first, and, and it makes it so much easier for LCTV and everybody else if we do it at the same time. It's one setup,
Yeah.
get ready to go.
So I think if you're
So-
looking at the
Good
vote.
morning and
on-
afternoon
It's
shift.
less taxing on the people.
I think if
Good
you're
morning
looking
and
at the
afternoon
vote on the
shift.
second Tuesday, the 12th,
when's
that you're
Thanksgiving?
looking at either the Saturday, the
December
2nd, or
23rd?
Saturday, the 9th.
Yeah, we don't want to, if it's a snow day, right, you don't want to back it up and
Yes.
not have
Yeah.
anything, so you'd
So
rather
you
go
don't-
the Saturday
Set ours for the
beforehand.
second.
Yes,
23rd 's a
I agree.
Thursday.
School wants to jump on to
Thanksgiving.
the
Veterans
afternoon,
Day
then
is
that's
not-
fine.
Yep.
Thanksgiving Day.
Well, at least give
Missing
her
a
a
meeting in
heads
budget,
up
I just
that
wanna bring that
yes,
up.
we will
November
on it, and
23rd.
we're shooting for the
Second.
2nd, so mark us down.
2nd of February for,
Well,
February?
Thanksgiving
for,
is,
for
March,
deliberative.
March.
Okay, I'm not into that yet.
but Thanksgiving's November
Second of February.
23rd. You're gonna miss a
February?
meeting.
It's in February. Is it second of Feb?
No, I thought we did it in February.
We do it in
We do.
February, near the end of
Third day.
Or in March,
Deliberatives
sorry.
in February.
February,
Third.
yeah, so it's the 3rd of February.
Third,
Saturday's the 3rd? Okay,
what's the 3rd?
3rd, February. We always do it in February.
so we'll do the 3rd.
Yeah, we do it in
And
March back in the day, Bob.
I didn't know,
Oh,
that's,
the-
because that's your voting.
So many
your
weeks
voting's
before
the
town
second.
meeting, right?
Yeah.
And it's gotta be
Yes,
so
because
many
that would leave them the 10th.
weeks ahead for the
Before the-
DRA.
And if we have a big snowstorm, it gives us the 10th also.
Your Thanksgiving.
'Cause I don't wanna do it on a weeknight when-
It's a
for the
Thursday.
public.
You're gonna miss a budget meeting.
They probably don't have one scheduled.
But
but-
just make sure you can meet Kim's December 1st cutoff. I don't think you have to do anything. with
Yeah,
budget,
no,
but-
because we're gonna deliver it to them on the 6th.
Okay, just wanna make sure
Oh,
you
the
just know
15th,
you're
I'm
missing a
sorry.
cycle of that, that's all.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll deliver it to budget by the 15th. If we can get it to them a couple days early, that'd be fine too.
The 15th of December?
Yeah. 15th of December for discussion on the,
She's
quick.
like, whoo.
It's coming quick.
It is coming quick.
The holidays,
Yep.
yes,
Yeah.
everything.
we have a
Skip
meeting.
Christmas.
We have a meeting on the 11th, so we'll be discussing on the 11th, and the budget committee will have it for the 15th.
Um,
And then 22nd would probably be when we go over them with them, if we meet then.
So, do you generally meet the,
We don't meet in between, but we've met right up before Christmas before.
That's a gift.
So,
so the,
Nice.
schedule
Exciting
that
time.
they had put forth.
Hmm.
Just, that's 20.
we'll find out. See if they are meeting on that day. Because I don't think that,
This is the exciting part.
Picking
This
a
is the
date.
great
there'll be a
part.
couple that we won't have. So you are scheduled for the 14th for warrant articles to be presented, not the 15th, according to the,
So we'll be, okay, so
According to
I'm
the
assuming
official-
we will,
so I won't be there.
okay, so you won't be there for that one. Karen will have to take the heat. Okay,
And then nothing, no meetings until the 4th. of-
Yep. okay.
But that will still allow you to approve them on the 11th.
Yep. Meet on the 11th, Selectmen for approval. Okay. Okay. So you're good to put the memo out then,
Okay.
I would think? Anybody have any reservations about that? No? Okay. Oh. Steve?
I'm good.
All right. Very good. All right, up next, we have the 2024 budget update, health insurance and fund balance.
Oh, boy.
So we can start with the fund balance, and I did in your portal, I did place this document, there. We did touch on,
Where in the
about
portal?
this, on the portal. Can you not
Is
see
that,
the
yeah,
tax
it's there,
tax breakdown?
2024 proposed budget changes.
Is that where it is?
Oh, and the tax breakdown is right above
Tax
it.
breakdown, see the tax rate breakdown?
It's right above
Oh,
it.
the one above it, okay.
If you
Okay.
open that, it's multi-pages, and on the back of the last page
Okay,
is the fund balance. And so we actually touched, on this at budget last Thursday. So the current amount that we have is $2,518,950.
Yep.
Which is only 8.74%.
yep,
So just a tad over,
the minimum.
the minimum per your policy. So that's one thing that we need to watch
Yep.
as we go forward. And unfortunately, the fund balance has to do with county, schools, and us. So if there are large projects being proposed on the school side, the town needs to know that, because our fund balance could actually fall below the minimum for things that they propose as well.
Okay.
So it's a discussion I think that we have to have together, to some extent. And as we're watching at CIP, the projects that are being at least estimated, it gets a little concerning. And I'm not sure that the school board is aware that they do impact.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, if it impacts negatively, we probably couldn't approve a lot of the things on CIP. If it puts us below that fund balance minimum threshold.
And also, you know, as we start to look at warrant articles, if we're using a lot of money from unassigned
Mm-hmm.
to fund them, that all comes into play. So it is tight. I think it's something we talked about last year at this time.
Yep.
That we thought this would happen, and, you know, there's a difference between what you see in the auditors, because that's 2022, they're looking at a different time frame, and they're, so, you know, at least I heard some, well, I thought it was up around 12. Well, no, this is the official, this is what we're dealing with now, currently.
I always thought 10 was a comfortable number. Certainly more comfortable than 8.7.
Yeah.
It's a little
You're
low.
talking $370,000 to get to 10, so it's a lot of money to talk about. But, you know, I wanted you to have it, and know where we are, and as we start to look at things, Karen and I have been looking at this a lot, lately, to kind of try to see where we'll come out with the projects that are brought forward.
Mhm.
there is not a large increase on the town side.
No.
No.
And there wasn't a large increase on the town side in 2023. There isn't a large impact slated for 2024, at least in the budget, so.
Mhm.
So may I ask just a general question? If a school is being proposed for payment, and it's on the SIP plan, right? And they put a warrant article out for it and it gets approved, how are you gonna go back and recalculate that? What formula are you using?
So, the funds, the general fund operating expenses, so say there was a warrant article and the bond payment, the payment on the new school was $2 million.
So that would jack up to 30.8 million.
Right. And that's when you start to come into play, right? When you start to have these large increases in your general fund operating expenses. And people tend to think that this is just the town, but it isn't. It's the town, the county, and the county had an increase this year, pretty substantial, and the schools.
So it's based on the yearly payment, whatever they're gonna project it to be. So, Bob, you had just said we might have to prioritize the SIP, but we can't stop them from doing a warrant article, even though it's a
Correct.
potential issue here on the town side. But we can at least educate people what it would be. An extra $2 million is how much roughly? I mean, do we go down to 8% at that point? I don't know what the calculation is.
It's a huge
Yeah, I
one. Well,
think we did look at,
with that, we dropped down to,
drop below.
Yeah.
It would drop below 8.
Drop us below the
Yeah.
minimum.
So legally,
Unless we had enough funds
In that
on
we
the
haven't
town
touched.
side to fall from the budget to
Left over.
left
Yeah.
over, but,
that's pretty.
you know,
we don't.
it's not looking that way currently. And it becomes more of an issue, you have less
or unless they
falling.
find 2 million out of their budget. To
So-
offset it.
So if we fall below the 8%, we still have insurance and all of that, right? I mean, this is a threshold they want us to maintain. But if we fall below it, what happens? And are we required to get to 8%, or is that just
Yeah, we-
So,
minimal
I
they
mean,
want?
yeah, the town's policy is between 8 and 12.
So we have to be there.
And it becomes, it's all a matter of cash flow,
Yep.
right? It's the cash you have on hand, and there are times, since the town is the tax collector of all funds, and we pay have the library, and we pay the school, and
Yeah, we float everybody.
and we have to pay the county, Karen has to pay the county in December, and they won't wait for their money. It becomes a cash flow, have the June taxes or July tax bill come in time to make all those payments. Have we collected the funds for December when these payments start to become due? You really don't want to dip
That's-
below that,
Yeah.
because that's when other problems occur.
That could be dangerous. I mean, you could vote in a new school, but we might not have the money to pay the teachers, you know?
But who comes up with this delta? Is this a shared expense, or is this the town paying this? Who has this balance? This is us, right?
This is us.
All right, so we have to get our side up in case they,
Make it work.
You have to have
Take
a
a
bigger
school.
fund.
Somewhere the
whatever
whole
the voters
picture
want,
has to
but-
stay balanced.
all right, so
Is what
how
it
do we
really
raise
comes
that
down
money?
to.
If we don't, we're already obviously thin on that, so what would have to happen?
Well,
We're gonna be a risk for a while until we have,
As Kim said, it's a cash flow issue, right? If we didn't have enough money in the bank and we needed to
Borrow.
borrow or transfer $5 million over to the school,
Yeah, you'd have to get, what is it, a
Tan.
Yeah.
And there are towns that have to do it. They have
You
to
pay
do a
big
tan
interest.
note to
That's
borrow
not
money
good.
to pay.
That is not good.
it's alarming.
Yeah, you don't wanna get into that position. So in the policy classes that, they've been holding, one of the tools that they have given all of us is a cash flow analysis, that I haven't even had an opportunity to share yet with Karen, because it would be really Karen and Heather that would fill it in, which will help us with this. because so many towns are having these issues. So they've developed this tool to assist, but it's something I wanted the board to be aware of. Budget spoke, we spoke a little bit about it at budget on
This
Thursday.
would be another discussion, I think. More in depth.
Right, because
Open
we can't
some eyes.
operate separately.
Yeah.
We're not.
No, we need to open
These
some eyes.
numbers here
on
will
that.
help that discussion.
When is that discussion planned?
Maybe.
Because we're running up
Maybe
against
Thursday?
warrant article season, and we know what's gonna be
Quite
on it.
possibly Thursday night?
Well, we have to educate the public, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we have to educate the budget committee too, because I'm sure most of them don't know this. I don't see how we can support any large projects that may put us under the threshold. I just don't see it.
Not this year.
Yeah.
It is harder too, as the towns become very frugal, which is good, right? You want to be, but you have less and less money falling that's unspent,
Yeah.
right? To fall to unassigned.
And really, we started that when COVID hit. We went to a budget freeze.
Yep.
Remember? And then we did a zero-based budget.
Zero-based budget, yeah. But I don't see this problem going away.
No.
This is not something that's gonna go away by not building and doing anything for a while.
Guys, start talking about it, guys. The Budget committee especially. And the school board's gotta talk about it too. Because just the questions tonight we had from Joe.
I
I
can
don't
see
know
this
where
gonna
we're
get
going.
lower every year.
That's not good.
Well, you will be
100%.
able to take from fund balance.
You're gonna have
Your
to,
warrant
it's gonna have to,
article.
it's gonna
I'm
keep
just, I
going.
have a sore throat, anybody
Can't go
want
much
to?
lower.
But if we don't do something, it's gonna keep going lower.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have hope at the end of the year, funds drop, your revenues were more than collected,
Yep.
so you get more in there. But you won't be able to take from fund balance for warrant articles.
No, none whatsoever,
Free.
that money.
Okay.
So everything's have to be raised and appropriated.
Sorry, we're never the bearer
No,
of good
no,
news,
it
are
has
we?
No, these are things
No,
we
it
have to
has to be.
say.
On our
It's-
agenda for next
It's,
time.
it's better that
Find
this
some good
discussion
news.
starts now
Yes.
than down the road when something happens, because to react to something after the fact, and we've seen how that goes, it's not a good thing.
I mean, there's no emotion in numbers, numbers are numbers.
No, numbers don't lie.
No, it is what it is, right?
Right.
So,
But they have to work together to strategize.
Yes.
100%.
This
Yes.
is very dangerous.
Yeah, they can't say, well, this is the school budget and this is the
Nope.
projects that the school wants to put forth, and, it's,
it's the
it
due
was
on
a
me
little
payroll.
concerning sitting at CIP and hearing
Oh,
the
yeah.
list, and my heart's,
It's up to over $70
No,
million.
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
because you just
You
can't
want-
look
Well, it's
at
another
it.
thing
Raise
nobody
enough
thinks
fees,
about. Nobody ever thinks about this piece of the puzzle.
But it's a big
But
piece.
some of them thought it
It's
was.
a huge piece, probably the
Hard
biggest
to
Doing
piece,
a
right?
Might be the
tailspin.
box that holds the puzzle together.
Right, I mean,
But no.
it's not,
Corporation, we don't have anything.
It's not good.
what Karen said is right. I mean, I think people think that, this is like some extra slush fund. This is not.
No, it's a safety net.
This is,
It's
yeah.
operating capital. It comes down to the money to operate.
Yeah, I mean, you only collect half of the taxes. So, I mean, you've gotta have a cushion to be able to pay all these months of expenses that are coming due.
You only get 6 months out of the 12 months you need.
With what we have in here for the unassigned, the fund balance, if we didn't collect, if for some reason, nobody paid their taxes in December, the first payment we make to the school would wipe us out.
Go to the county.
County,
Or the county.
Yeah.
or the county, one or the other, yeah.
Whatever, yeah. Because we
Yeah.
see that 2 million, 2 point,
Yep.
whatever,
Whatever, go
million
back and
dollar
forth.
every month.
Yeah.
That would basically wipe us out.
Yep. that's what it says,
You're
yeah.
not-
No payroll.
Isn't there a time that, like, July, that we actually do more based on how they do their payroll? I always feel like once a year we,
Teachers, the year-end.
once a
The
year, I
year
think
ends,
we end
yeah.
up with a larger payment to the school.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Usually
you do the
around our
lump sum
town,
For the
and-
teachers. in
Yeah.
the summer.
Summer, yeah, so I always knew there was one month that you
Yeah,
always
and
saw
it's
that really
usually
jump
when we
up.
collect taxes, because
Yeah.
it's easier for us, because that's when we have the extra
So we don't
money.
see the impact as much, but.
Yeah,
And you gotta remember, July tax bill is only an estimate,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
So you're not even collecting the full amount that your budget has really warranted for.
Correct.
So this is meant to be your cushion.
You start out in the hole,
Right, you do. You start out in the hole.
because that year's expenditure is voted in March, come in December. Wonderful. All right.
So we do have some good news.
Do. Please
Well,
share,
maybe, if we can,
please share.
and I apologize, we actually could not get this out any earlier, 1, 2, 3.
Are we still in the tax breakdown?
Well, we're still in budget, we're moving to healthcare. So. pass
That's the
them
blurry
around.
one you can't see.
We go to the budget changes.
Oh, you can see it.
And
Right
certainly,
there.
if anyone has
I can blow
any,
it up.
Oh, if you add those together, that's a big number.
concerns, they can email me and I will either email them this, but this
Oh,
was
they did it in Braille in this one too.
a lot of work. So, currently, right now, the town has 2 health plans. AB 10, which is an HMO, and a point of service.
Okay,
And if you look at the second page of this packet, it gives you, the difference between the AB, oh, no, sorry, my pages are mixed up. The breakdown for the 2024 costs between the different plans. So you can see AB 10 isn't even on there. They move right to AB 20, and there's a reason for that. AB 10 is a plan that Litchfield is grandfathered into having. It's not a plan that Health Trust offers to new towns or new cities that are joining the Health Trust. It's actually a very rich plan, and not one that they offer unless you're grandfathered. The next page is a breakdown between the differences between the Access Blue AB 10 plan and the Access Blue AB 20. The only differences between these 2 plans is the copay.
Yep.
So instead of the $10 copay, you're moving to a $20 copay for regular physician specialists, things of that sort. It's a different copay for urgent care. But in the AB 20, you pick up acupuncture, which you don't have currently, and a more extensive chiropractic benefit. We've been talking to Health Trust. It's our recommendation that because of the savings, not only to the town, but to the employees, considering the 15.6% rate increase, that the town switches from the AB 10 to the AB 20 plan.
okay.
That's the first. The second part is the POS plan is going away as of the end of 24.
Okay.
So it'll no longer be offered by Health Trust. So we were looking, and of course, it's hard because you have a union contract that's ending, and we wanted to be able to come up with an alternative, so that we could go and negotiate with the union. We looked for a plan that offered something different to the employees. And the Site of Service 2040 plan, it does offer something different, a much lower cost. And it's the same doctors and the same structure and everything as the other plans that are currently offered. And you'd still get your preventative care at no cost and all that. But if you have like a surgery, or an X-ray or an MRI or things of that sort, if you don't go to one of their site of service providers, like Convenient MD, Bedford Ambulance
Ambulatory,
Surgery,
yep.
yeah, they have a list. If you don't go to them, then you fall under a deductible. And the deductible is $1,000 per person or $3,000 cap family. It offers people an opportunity to save some money in their healthcare costs and look at how they deal with their medical expenses and things.
How many people do we have that utilize that right now?
So the POS,
I'm gonna say five.
I just wanted, I was curious on how big of an impact it
Yeah.
was.
One, two,
it's on our spreadsheet.
four, five, I believe.
I didn't print that. So that's the second, is the POS would go to the site of service. Less money for the employees, obviously less for the town, but, and it just, especially, you know, if you're someone who's younger and just starting out and great health and you don't want to need these rich plans, then maybe you wanna look at that because you want the money in your take-home pay, right?
Pay for daycare.
The third part of it was the buyout. It's funny because when I was speaking with Health Trust, the comment that was said to me was, I think that's pretty much the richest plan I've ever heard of. I think that's true. I think unfortunately it's not sustainable for the town. But we understand that we don't wanna hurt the employees that we currently have that have gotten accustomed to those. So we have figured out, as of December 31st, anybody hired as of December 31st, these are only your non-union employees governed by the personnel policy. If they have the buyout, they will be allowed to get the same rate, practically, we've rounded them, that they have now.
You'll see it there.
So, and as long as they don't move, go off the insurance, come back on, those type of things, they will be grandfathered at that rate, which is the 2023 rate, not the new 2024. Employees hired after January 1st will be capped at $3,000, $6,000, $8,000, depending on the
That's
tier.
what, depending on the tier,
Yeah, single,
single,
two-person.
couple, family.
What's out there in industry?
Yep.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen a $10 copay in years.
Yeah, it's 25, 50.
A little higher now, guys. I'm more acceptable to it.
And it's the same thing too, right, where if they're on the plan now, they leave the plan, they come back to the plan, or to the buyout. So if they have the buyout, they elect to take insurance, then they decide to go with the buyout, they fall under the new. So they don't go grandfather back. Once you're out, you're out.
The door shuts.
And in
behind
open
you.
enrollment, these will just be their choices.
Now, what about the union?
That's being handled through negotiations.
Well, I think you need to keep everybody in the same ballpark.
We agree.
I agree.
AKA negotiations.
Okay.
The nice thing with the SOS plan, as he was explaining us today, is you can take advantage of the minute clinics, the health services that are around. I think he was saying on one of them that we have 15 within miles of us.
Yeah.
Which, compared to running to the hospital, so if you, instead of going to the emergency room, sitting there for 6 hours because you need, stitches, you can go to a minute clinic, and it's fast, convenient, and much cheaper. And they encourage it, and a lot of the providers they listed were, if I was in this situation, I would take advantage of it.
And if it's like a colonoscopy and that's preventative, it's covered anyways.
Yep.
At no cost. So, I mean, there's a lot of, I know, that plan actually looks pretty good.
Yeah, it does.
It looks really good. But, and obviously, I mean, in a perfect world, we could bring you everything together. The world's not perfect yet. But we do need to let Health Trust know before November 9th.
When's our open enrollment?
January 1.
January 1?
Well, it's the new plan.
When's that, our next meeting is what, the
So we gotta get them in to do
the 6th?
Yeah, so by November 9th, we have to let them know if we're changing plans.
So our next meeting's the 6th, right?
No, week after
No.
that,
Oh.
The
13th.
week after
So we
that.
gotta
That's
kinda
why
decide.
tonight is.
So we have a
is-
3-week late.
I don't see any negatives to it. I think it puts us more in line with what's out in industry
I like to look at
right
it.
now.
I mean, you don't save anything in the buyout right now except the 15.6% increase, because we wouldn't raise it 15.6%. We'd keep it at the 2023. There's been a lot of, I've heard from a lot of employees, and I am thankful for that. I mean, if they have an opinion, I want to hear it. I think the hard part is for the employees that buy the insurance, their payments just went up 15.6%. That's 15.6% less money they're bringing home to pay their bills. On the other side, the person that's not taking the insurance is getting 15.6% more in their
More money, yeah.
paycheck under our current
Yep.
buyout system. And you don't know that their insurance, wherever their insurance is, went up at all.
Mhm.
I mean, if it's, so it creates an equity problem.
And-
It's choice.
If the percentage goes up every year, they get that more. They
Yeah.
increase the percentage year after year after year.
But
We're a cap, which is a lot of very common private, and these numbers align with it. It'll never change.
It's probably more than their merit
Unless the
increase.
board decides, I mean, in 5 years, the board decides to change it because the industry's changed rapidly or something, you always have the purview to do that. And we're not hurting our existing employees.
that's the key point.
But the difference between the AB 10 and the AB 20, the $10 copay, for the amount of money the employee will save during the year in their cost,
Mhm.
their weekly cost, it more than covers
More
it.
than happy doing that.
Yeah. It's in, so,
I don't know if it doesn't apply yet, but years ago, they were gonna maybe start taxing your health insurance, remember that? They left
Yeah.
the box open on the W-2 form for that, right?
Mhm.
I don't know if this helps our case or not, I haven't thought the math through yet.
Clean up your-
But if the rates are going down, it helps, is my,
Yeah.
yeah.
Taxing your insurance. Government never ends.
We did tell the budget committee on Thursday that we wanted to bring forth to you a way to kind of mitigate some of these costs. And this will do that. So we may be able to mitigate, around 30,000 of the cost, or when you're talking $110,000 increase, I think it's expected for the town to do something.
Yeah. 30% savings is good.
Gotta save something sound somewhere.
And the programs seem pretty comparable, other than the copay being $10 more.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're identical except for the copay, and then with the $20 copay plan, you get acupuncture and
Chiropractic.
You get some
More
extras.
chiropractic.
more chiropractic, yeah.
In case you need to go every day, week.
I'm comfortable moving. I'm comfortable moving moving the.
Sometimes too, if you look at the back of your medical bill, if you pay it within 45 days, they knock off 30%. I'm not saying that's a strategy, but I'm just saying pay attention. If they get the big copay or a big
Yeah,
$5,000 bill, right?
yeah, because they don't know
Offset
then
payment
what
on
you
the back.
paid,
Look at
and then
those.
it goes towards your deductible if you have that,
Yep.
that plan, that site of service plan. They only know
So
what you
if
look
they
at.
did get stuck with a big copay or something, I'm just saying, look at the bill.
They
You
also
pay it
said that, with the online tool, you can go in, you could track your copay, so if you know exactly where you are, so if you're wondering.
So I have, talked, I got some feedback from some department heads, on the buyout. And they didn't want existing employees hurt. I think this does that. It caps them at what they're currently getting. They're not gonna get less. Does it make it more difficult to hire in the future? I don't think so.
No.
I don't.
I don't think a buyout's even discussed when you're going through the hiring process. It's something you usually find about after.
No, because usually they hire them before they come to me anyway.
Yeah.
That would be like getting a nice interest, a nice
Yeah.
bump in pay,
Usually
right?
part of that, the
Paperwork,
thing is,
Two
yeah.
people
here's
are
the
working,
health
one takes
programs
insurance,
that
one
we.
I
doesn't.
mean, unless, the department discusses it,
Yeah.
with
What is
them,
it?
but.
As long as we're not
What do
hurting
they
the
call it?
employees
Build-
that we
what do
have
they call
now.
that?
I mean,
Build?
that's,
Buyout?
that would be my big
Buyout.
concern. Not hurting who we have.
So if you were.
It doesn't sound like we
take
hurt anybody.
insurance, you get that.
Where does buyout settle with this new plan? Where does buyout settle? How does buyout gonna work if we go forward?
So the buyout will be capped at what they're currently getting
For
this,
existing employees?
for
right,
existing.
for existing.
So that would be the, if you go to the
Employees
first
hired
page,
after January 1st would go
go to
down
the yellow,
to the
Kim,
lower
right there, that
amount.
very first page.
The-
No, no,
Oh, right here.
that right
first
there, that's
page,
about
yeah.
it.
The font's like really small, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in the yellow, that would be the existing, what the
Do we
current
plan on
employees
hiring
have.
anybody between now and then?
Okay.
And then the second one will be new employees or changes.
Gotcha.
So that's existing, that's capped.
Thinking of other things
No,
when
I
she
don't
was
think
saying it.
anybody's, unless somebody leaves.
Maybe if
It's almost
there's-
worth waiving the insurance and
Oh,
taking the
yeah.
risk.
Well, that's.
With the
usually-
buyout.
Any new
Would be a
officers?
contract, you guys would.
No,
have
well,
to-
officers would be
Terrible.
union,
Union,
Yeah.
so whatever
Discussing
that gets
that.
negotiated with the union.
right.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody
it
else have
would be
open positions? Highway?
Uh,
Part-time, right?
Part-time.
Part-time highway,
Administrative assistant.
Administrative assistant over there,
but we said we'd wait for the chief to hire
Yeah.
that, so.
okay.
We're not, what I'm reading here is not, the buyout is a good, I think it's good, if they wish to go. I've been through many different insurance things in other municipalities, this ain't bad. When the things that go bad, can come good, I'm sorry. The private sector, they've done well too,
I mean, we did look at having the high deductible
Yep.
with the HSA.
Mhm.
We didn't, a kind of informal poll we weren't hearing that there would be enough employees willing to migrate to that to make it worthwhile.
Because there are some benefits of an HSA,
Yep, definitely.
especially when you're near the end of your career, the way you can transport the money.
But you need numbers.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
to make it
You couldn't just
worthwhile.
have 2 or 3 employees, that it wouldn't work. So,
Numbers.
And it's still Anthem, right? Anthem.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great company. You know,
yeah,
it's not
Yeah,
XYZ
good.
and nobody knows who
I
it
have
is, right?
On my private stuff.
yeah.
Steve, what's your thought?
I
No one knows.
discussed this at length, I think, today. I discussed this at length today. I'm all for it. I think it's a great plan. I think the buyout aligns well. It takes care of the existing employees, and we'll just make sure that going forward that we're not in this always falling
Correct.
behind scenario. It aligns, it's actually very generous compared to the private sector as well.
I work at a company that has probably 250,000 employees. This is the same thing.
Yeah.
Yep, it's standard.
You
We're offered
okay?
2 plans.
You're okay?
I'm good.
Bob, what's your plan?
I'm so good, I'll make a motion to approve the medical benefit plan and buyout options as presented this evening.
I'll second that.
We have a motion from Mr. Weber enthusiastically, and a second from Mr. Gannon. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Abstained? Motion carries
He's
5-0-0.
self-employed. That's what I'm saying.
So we'll bring in,
really
a
get it.
health trust will come in, and they will do education with all the employees on, there really isn't much of a change between AB 10 and AB 20, but they'll educate them more on the site of service, which is kind of new to them, to see if that's something they're interested in.
And it gives the employees a chance to ask questions, even, things they might be questioning now with the plan they have, right? It's a great time to have them come back and just talk about everything benefit-wise.
Then we'll amend the personnel policy, and that will come back to you as a separate document.
Yeah, and the gentleman said he sticks around after the meeting, so if there's personal questions you wish to ask, and that you don't want to do in front of all your peers, he's
That's good.
addresses those individually.
Good job.
Okay. So up next, Town Administrator and Selectmen Report.
I think so.
We'll start with you,
Then
Ken.
you went off to
So
the.
I have very little, to report, other than, it has been very busy. And I have to thank everybody.
You haven't been
The
around much.
Hillcrest Wet Water Project schedule, I think, you saw it, John put it out on the website and, the Facebook page, subject to change. I had a very nice gentleman call me today, and apparently they are on Shirley Way. So he just wanted to let me know. I can only go with what they've given me. I've asked Penachuk to keep me informed. I asked them specifically if we could post it. They said yes, so,
This is
we're
the
doing
schedule?
our best, yes, to
This is what
keep
they have?
the residents.
That's subject to change?
It is, so as American Excavation, American
Yeah.
Excavator.
American Excavation's got the contract?
For Penachuk.
Cool. They're a good outfit.
So,
Okay.
you're the second person that said that to me.
Now, are we notifying the people that live on these roads that this will be going on? or-
No, Penachuk will.
Okay, as long as they're getting notified.
Right.
And so we've asked for a copy of the letter that is being sent, and I mean, I haven't received that yet, but that has to do with, if they're interested in hooking up and how the whole process works. So I did, let Penachuk know today, we still want a copy of that letter so that we
Okay.
can see exactly what our residents
Yes,
are
we'll keep
being
it on
sent.
file too.
Um,
Very good.
and so really that, and of course, the level of service workshop for stormwater is tomorrow, at the fire department. So we are expecting that we'll have a little crowd there, and that will be, CEI that will be leading that charge. So, busy day tomorrow.
Yep.
And then Wednesday is my last day in Concord for the policy review. And there's a binder like this in my office if
It's that pile of
anyone
paper in the
wants
corner
reading
over
material that will put you to sleep.
Okay.
I don't know, I don't understand it. There's so much paper out there.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kim.
Up next, Recreation Commission, Mr. Weber.
Nothing to report. Our next meeting's tomorrow evening,
Okay, and you're also on the energy one, right?
which is also tomorrow evening.
Evening?
And I have
Perfect.
2 others, so I have 4 different appointments all on the same
You're
evening.
four-way booked, huh?
Yeah. It's the way my life's been lately.
If you can't make it, we have a backup.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, Mr. Gannon said he would back you up.
You'll make it.
You'll make it.
I'll
They'll
use
pick
mine.
you up and
You're gonna make rec or you're gonna make energy?
I'm making a personal commitment that I have to go to. So I've already,
So you're going to rec for him?
Probably.
now you're a double
Energy.
vote.
Who else is, do we have somebody else on energy?
Ms. Queen is on
I'm there.
energy. She's there.
Oh,
So we're covered
that
from a
on
town
camera?
standpoint.
He's used to it.
Town stuff covered.
Nice.
Nice.
Karen and I
I just gotta cover the other
Karen and
2.
I will be there too.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Anybody want to cover my other one?
What's the other one?
Just 2 things for my house.
House?
How old is it? 3 o'clock.
What's going on at your house?
No, just I have a personal one and then I have a business one, so.
Okay.
That's how I got to 4.
Okay, perfect, okay. Mr. Lynch, school facilities, conservation, and emergency management.
Have not met the school facility because they are 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm not available at that time. That's their setup
That's a
time.
tough one.
As for conservation, nope, we're doing good. We're meeting soon.
Soon?
And for the emergency management manager, I haven't met on them yet.
Okay, which is a good thing.
That's correct.
Remember when they were weekly?
Oh, yes, I do. Sometimes
Yeah, we
twice a week.
changed the rules.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Well,
Bob.
we haven't had.
Spent a lot of
emergency
time
meetings.
together.
Yeah, we did.
See what administration does?
All right, up next, we have Heritage Commission.
Last meeting, we had a conflict. We had a conflict. Next one is not until November 14th.
Bring turkey.
Right, Ms. Queenan, Capital
All right.
Improvement, Planning Board.
All that.
Yada, yada.
I'll put them in the order they come up. Energy Commission meets tomorrow night, 6 PM, at the fire station.
Okay.
The survey has been posted online, and I'm not sure if we're getting any feedback on that or not yet.
That's the one
Let's see.
you got. Talking about the surveys here too.
The Community Power Survey.
Yeah, I already did it.
All right, let's see. The next one, Economic Development meets the next night, October 25th, 6:30 PM here at the Town Hall. We did not have a meeting last month due to a family issue. All right, the Capital Improvement Plan Committee meets on November 6th, 6:30 PM here at the Town Hall. I'll bring up any warrant articles. If they're going to make one, they better get them to you by December 1st, right? Maybe we should show them that piece of paper that you just brought up too. Are you going to be here or are you on vacation?
Where?
November 6th,
I'll be here.
you'll be at the capital improvement, so we can bring up that piece of paper you just showed us today on the fund balances. I think education's needed for them all to understand that. Let's see, planning board, you did not attend the last one, again, family issue. The next one is November 7th. Did anybody see the planning board online? I did not, no.
No.
Okay. And the 5th item is NRPC. We are working on a vision statement still, and mission statement. We should be done with that. We're hoping by December 20th quarterly meeting to show it to the executive committee. So December 20th, 7 PM, 30 Temple Street in Nashua. I remember why I didn't go to the planning board meeting. I missed one for a family issue one time, but the last meeting I didn't go to because I had to go to the Gasset meeting about the intersection on Corning Road and 3A.
That's right.
So we made the case, again, we showed pictures of the last accident that was there. So there's 25 meetings that they go to, Dave Wheeler. After that, the executive council will meet. And then if it passes that, it'll go to the governor. And then if it passes that, it'll go to the Senate or House of Representatives and the Senate. So there's a lot of people getting to them, right? But so far, funding looks available, so we just made our case. That's where I was last planning board meeting. Conflict. That's all I have to report.
On the community power, WMUR and their close-up, I think on Sunday, they had about a 10-minute discussion on the community power, and it was very informative.
Yeah, good.
Okay, budget committee, we started cutting. I'll say we, but I didn't vote for cuts. Last Thursday, we'll do a second round this week, and then, hopefully get through everything, and then the warrants will be the next thing. So,
I watched some of that, and it was interesting, to say the least.
Is there sides? I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watch it.
okay. Right, is there anything else anybody would like to talk about or discuss before we go into non-public? All right. We have one more item in non-public under RSA 91-A semicolon 3, 2, A in parentheses, the dismissal, promotion, or compensation of any public employee or the disciplining of such employee or the investigation of any charges against him or her unless the employee affected, number one, has a right to a meeting, and number two, requests that that meeting be open, in which case the request shall be granted. So we need a motion to go into non-public.
So moved.
We have a motion
Second.
from Mr. Gannon and a second from Mr. Weber. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0-0. We are going into non-public at 7:57 PM. Everyone at home, be safe, take care. We'll see you soon.